Late winter is one of the most important moments in the rose calendar. This is when structure is set, disease pressure is reduced, and the season's performance is decided long before the first bud ever opens. Today I'm going to show you step by step how to properly prune roses at the end of winter and into the very beginning of spring. We'll look at three very different types of roses: Zephirine Drouhin, a nearly thornless baldwin climber; Macy's Pride, a modern shrub rose; and Poseidon, a floribunda. The principles of pruning remain consistent, but how those principles are applied changes depending on the rose's growth habits. By the end of this video, you should understand not only what to cut, but why you are cutting it. Late winter pruning should be done when the worst of winter has passed, but before active growth begins. In practical terms, this is usually when buds are swelling but have not yet broken into leaf. Pruning too early risks winter damage to fresh cuts, and pruning too late wastes energy the plant has already invested in growth. This timing allows us to guide the plant cleanly into the growing season.
Sharp, clean tools are essential. I use bypass pruners for most cuts and a small pruning saw for thicker canes. Blades should be disinfected before you begin and between plants to reduce the spread of disease. A simple alcohol wipe or diluted bleach solution is sufficient. All cuts should be clean, deliberate, and made at a slight angle to shed water.
Every rose pruning begins with the same four objectives. First, remove anything that is dead, damaged, or diseased. Second, remove crossing or rubbing canes that will injure one another. Third, open the centre of the plant to air and light. And fourth, shape the rose according to its natural growth habit, rather than forcing it into an artificial form. Once these principles are clear, the rest becomes fairly straightforward. Zephirine Drouhin is an old Bourbon rose known for its fragrance and nearly thornless canes. It blooms primarily on older wood, with additional flowers on new laterals. This means that over-pruning will drastically reduce flowering. With old garden climbers like Zephirine Drouhin here, restraint is critical. This rose rewards preservation, not aggression. And if you remember nothing else, remember this: do not treat climbing roses like bush roses. So you don't treat climbing roses like Zephirine Drouhin here like other roses, because it grows primarily on new growth. It consists of the main canes, and then the growth, the actual blooms, are off of those main canes. So what I'm going to do with here, of course I'm wearing gloves and I have long sleeves. Even though Zephirine Drouhin is mostly thornless, it's better to always wear gloves. So I'm looking for dead and damaged growth, which I'm going to remove. So here's some damaged growth. You can see it's broken there, so I'm going to remove that. So don't shorten these main canes. Instead, encourage them to grow against and up the structure, in this case an arbor. So on a climber, you never cut these main canes. Instead, you encourage them, you train them to grow up and around your structure, which is what I've done with these canes here. In some cases you can do that naturally by twining it between the structure, as I've done there. In other places you have to encourage it to stay there by using twine. Twine is the best stuff to use. This kind of thing, this garden twine, that's the best stuff. You can use this plastic stuff because it's stretchy, so don't use wire ties because they will cut into the rose and cause damage. So on this climber you can clearly see this is a main cane right here, and you can see the way the shoots shoot vertically off of that main cane. That's why you don't cut these main canes, but you do cut, if necessary, the growth off of those main canes, and those buds there, up here, that's where the flowers will be. So for a shrub rose like Macy's Pride here, I'm going to reduce the height down by about 1/3. And again, I'm looking for dead or damaged growth. That. This. And I'm looking for any crossing canes here. And then I'm looking for, because the objective is to open the plant up to allow air to flow through. That helps mitigate against disease. And then when making cuts, what you're looking for is an outward facing bud. So here's an example. There's the bud. The growth will be that way rather than this here. So I'm going to make the cut. So I'm going to make a cut just above the outward facing bud, like that. Outward facing bud. So with the Floribunda here, Poseidon, I'm going to begin by removing all dead and weak growth, because Floribundas perform best when energy is directed into fewer, stronger canes. And the key is the shape. You're looking for a V shape, you're looking to open up the plant again. And of course, as with all the other roses, you're looking for the 3 Ds, the dead, the diseased and the damaged, which you're going to remove. I'm going to try to reduce this to a compact framework. You can see it's fairly tall because it's in a relatively sheltered spot behind that trellis. So the finished plant, when I finish, it should look more open. It's fairly open now, but I'm still going to take that down again by about 1/3. So here you can be quite aggressive in the way you approach the rose, because the more aggressive you are, the more you're going to encourage new growth. And again, I'm looking for, before making these cuts, I'm looking for outward facing buds. There's an outward facing bud, which will go that way, and making the cut just above that outward facing bud, like that. You can see I'm being fairly aggressive here. And as with other roses, you're looking for any crossing canes and the 3 Ds, dead, diseased or damaged. So what I've done is I've definitely opened it up. I've removed any crossing canes that I could see. There were a few down here. Didn't see any dead or diseased. Removed some damage. So yeah, that's looking good, I think.
Once pruning is complete, remember to remove all debris from around the base of the plant. Old leaves and canes can harbour disease spores, and this is an ideal time to apply a dormant spray if you use one, and to top dress with compost or well-rotted manure. Mulching after pruning helps regulate soil temperature and moisture as growth begins. Late winter rose pruning is about understanding how each rose grows and working in partnership with it. When you prune with intention, clarity and restraint, roses respond with strength, health and remarkable bloom. If you approach this task thoughtfully each year, your roses will reward you for decades. When pruning roses, the placement and angle of the cut matter. The correct cut is made just above a healthy outward-facing bud at a slight angle of about 45 degrees. This angle allows water to run off the cut surface and prevents moisture from collecting and causing rot. Cutting too far above the bud leaves a dead stub, while cutting too close risks damaging the bud itself. Good pruning is about structure as much as it is about removal. Begin by thinning out crowded or crossing canes so that light and air can reach the centre of the plant. Tall canes can be shortened in late winter to maintain a balanced framework, always cutting just above an outward facing bud. Finally, remove any suckers that emerge from below the graft, as these belong to the rootstock and will not produce the desired rows. Hybrid teas are built for exhibition style blooms, and that means they respond well to decisive pruning. In late winter, reduce the plant to a strong framework of 3 to 5 healthy canes and remove weak growth entirely. You are not shaping for fullness, you are shaping for strength and bloom quality. Hard pruning now produces fewer but far more impressive flowers later. Floribundas bloom in clusters, so they benefit from a lighter, more balanced hand. Rather than cutting everything back severely, thin the interior and shorten canes to encourage branching. The goal is a well-lit, open shrub that can support multiple bloom cycles. Think renewal, not reduction. Grandifloras combine height with clustered flowering, so structure matters. Maintain several strong vertical canes and shorten them moderately to preserve height without sacrificing vigour. Remove crossing growth and any congestion in the centre. These roses reward thoughtful shaping with a commanding presence in the garden. Shrub roses are naturally graceful and rarely need aggressive pruning. Begin by clearing out old woody canes and any inward growth, then reduce overall height just enough to maintain proportion. Allow the plant's natural habit to guide you. Overworking shrub roses often diminishes their charm. Old garden roses require restraint. Because many bloom on mature wood, heavy late winter pruning can eliminate flowers entirely. Remove only dead or compromised growth now and save structural shaping for after flowering. Respect their rhythm and they will reward you. Repeat blooming climbers are pruned for structure, not size. Preserve the main horizontal framework canes and focus instead on shortening lateral shoots where flowers will form. Tie canes outward or horizontally to stimulate more blooms along their length. With climbers, training is as important as cutting. Rambling roses are vigorous, once blooming climbers that flower on last year's growth. In late winter, limit yourself to removing only dead or damaged wood, because heavy pruning now will sacrifice this season's display. The real pruning happens immediately after flowering, when 1 or 2 of the oldest canes can be removed at the base to encourage strong new replacements. With ramblers, restraint in winter ensures abundance in summer. Miniatures follow the same principles as larger roses, but on a smaller scale. Remove weak stems and shorten healthy growth to maintain compact form. Avoid drastic cuts unless the plant is overgrown or declining. Precision matters more than force. Species roses are the wild ancestors of modern cultivars, and they're best treated with restraint. Most bloom on mature wood, so heavy late winter pruning will remove the coming season's flowers. At this time of year, limit your work to removing dead, damaged or poorly placed growth. Allow the plant to retain its natural architecture. This is where its beauty lies. If you found this guide helpful, consider subscribing to the channel. I share thoughtful videos on roses, garden design and the traditions of gardening throughout the year. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the garden.